Welcome, everybody. Boom! Ba, 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 ba. Welcome to episode 21 of the American Idiot Show. I'm not going to lie to you.
Got two American idiots on the show tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. One of the American idiots had to bail because of work, and I know he's listening. Dal, big up, Dal. I hope you're well. Connor told me he wasn't going to be on the show, and I'm an idiot and just didn't remember. So who better than to be my American counterpart than the one and only Socrates? Don't get in an argument with him, Will Stewart. From Tottenham away. Will Stewart, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. We got to throw this out there too. So the number one American Spurs football YouTuber.
Would you say you're the number one American YouTube channel for Spurs, or are you saying you're just the best YouTuber?
Well, so when my channel was just me, I was definitely the biggest channel in the United States. But now it's hard to say, is the channel still American since I've merged with Tottenham Away, and then Tottenham Away has ended up merging onto my old channel. So, we got like 50%, 60, or I guess it'd be more like, 60%.
Yeah.
English folks, 3 English, 2 American. So, but my show, so I go with the show now, right? So, because even at like 10 p.m. on a Eastern time on a Saturday night, we get 100-something people watching the show. So, which is what we always had. So, show's still there. But
THSC Rants is easily the best show, and it's extremely accessible, especially to Americans out here, right? Because, when I'm cozying up after watching Spurs lose and Arsenal win, and I'm cozying up to my computer to shit talk, I can go to THSC Rants and either watch or participate. I watched before I participated.
Yeah, there you go. Our show's always open up to the show that I do. The post-match show I do is always open up to anybody who wants to call in. I just dropped the link in the chat. In fact, as far as the Spurs YouTube community is concerned, I invented that show model. So I'm often duplicated but never replicated. So
I forgot that part of your tagline. I'm so sorry.
I don't think that's on my Twitter. Maybe I should add it. But
No. You should add it. But here's the thing, though: is there was one other time that you were on the channel is when you did the call. We did the call-in show for when I think it's when I hit like 200 or 300 subs. I did a call-in show, and you and Stel called in. Big up, Stel. Literally, you guys called in, and you came in, and I asked you to tag in. And you're just like Socrates, number one Spurs YouTuber, often replicated, never duplicated. Don't get in an argument with me.
Sounds like me. I always like to joke. Like I'm half joking and half serious. I'm half joking and half serious at the same time. So.
No. It's I take the more serious, half serious, because I've seen you argue and you come with the facts. You don't beat around the bush. Unlike some people on this platform who waffle and have taglines and don't really speak their mind, but they are really good at calling people idiots and then throwing it back to Stel. Big up Alex every time.
Big up Mr.
But
Box
big up Mr. Box office every time. I still need to get him on the show. Let's say out of the chat real quick. We got Drew Canyoneer, Drew Gunner's in the house. Big up Drew Gunner every single time. Clock Orange. I want to say Clockwork Orange every single time I say this, but it's Clock Orange. Big up Clock Orange. Full Bull, welcome to the channel, my friend. And we know that everybody and their mother is streaming right now. Diesel is streaming right now with Jez over on Diesel's channel. Make sure you're going over there and smashing a like. We got time added on, or added time, or whatever his name is. He's over there streaming. We got a lot of people streaming right now. So we thank you for coming over to TJ Warren TV and tuning in to the episode 21 of the American Idiot Show. Ron's here.
Some Tottenham Away faithfuls in the chat here.
Yeah, we do. We 100% do. We got Ron here. Big up Ron every single time. Mama Flossie's here. Big up Mama Flossie. And Early Doors Football TV will be coming on the show next week. So big up early doors football TV. Game Killer is here as well. Here we go. Yeah, let's just get into it. So with Juventus being thrown out of Europa Conference League, will Tottenham be given their place ins? We had talked about this.
That would be the most Spursy thing ever. So yeah, probably.
And with Harry Kane hitting the runway here pretty soon, I would say you guys still have a chance at the Conference League. You guys are good enough to win.
If West Ham can do it, we can do it.
You guys are good enough to get into the Conference League and win it. Would you, every Spurs YouTuber that I see, or the big Spurs YouTubers, whenever I see them talk about Conference League, they're just like, I'm not watching that. I'm not doing that. I think they think it's below your stature, Will. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I like winning stuff. So whatever tournament we're in, we should try to win it. And if we qualify, like, nobody wants to be in the Conference League, right? You want to be in the Champions League, right? And then Europa, I guess, is even that, my favorite song over the past 7 or 8 years has been watching Tottenham on a Tuesday night. You play Thursday because you're effing shite, right? So that didn't happen this year. So
I was gonna say I forgot about that one.
That's my favorite song.
Favorite song. Are you confident you guys can get back into Europe with one game a week? I'm not even bantering. I'm honestly answering questions now. I'm playing TV host right now.
Yeah, so I'm catching a lot of crap this year, right? Or for this past year, because in the summer around this time last year, I predicted that Tottenham would finish the season on 86 points. That was only based off of the points per game that Antonio Conte had in his stint as manager for the second part of the season before last. And, not based on any form or anything. It was just strictly based on the points per game, right? And it was a, mathematical prediction, but it wasn't anything that was based off of form or, injuries or... Like, who would have thought that Son Heung-min, after coming off of a 23-goal season, would only score 10? Who would have thought that Bentancur was going to get injured for the whole entire season? For the most part, I think he got injured in it was December, November, December or something. He's out for the rest of the year. Those two things, and then the whole Conte drama, right? Like, when Conte got sacked, we were sitting in fourth. And if we would have just continued on the same points per game that he was operating in our horrible form, we would have finished like 72 points, which would have put us in fourth. But who would have thought that Conte is going to get the sack? Who would have thought, I'm obviously down into the season, it became a possibility. But I mean, talking before the season started, people like but they always like to forget that the season before that, when Arsenal was ahead of Spurs by 8 points or whatever back in March, I predicted that Arsenal would finish on 68 points and Spurs would finish on 72, and sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. So 71, I was off by 1 point on Tottenham. And then it's just a rough one. So like, what do we do about the Conference League? I mean, if they give us a spot, which I don't know how they're going to work it, are they going to do? If they go off coefficient, we'll get it, right? Yep. If they pass it down to the next person in the Serie A,
Italian league, right? Yeah.
Then we won't. So which I think is probably the most likely scenario, is that they'll pass it to the next table position in the Italian
Serie A.
Yeah.
Guess. No, I mean, yeah. I just think it would be so funny, and I want to see it. I want to see it so bad. I cannot believe I'm actually saying I want to see Spurs in Europe, but come on, that would be great. And that would be the most Spursy thing to ever happen. And I don't ever call things Spursy, but that would be the most Spursy thing to ever happen.
Yeah, it would be pretty Spursy for it to happen.
Yeah. So
how are you feeling? We didn't get to finish it last time we were in it. We got kicked out.
Well, didn't you refuse to play a game and then you got kicked out? If I'm remembering.
No, so we had a COVID cases. So by Premier League rule,
scheduled.
Yeah, we had to get it rescheduled. But then the date that we had scheduled was I think it was 24 hours after a Premier League game or something like that, or before a Premier League game. Right. And they wouldn't, the other team that we were supposed to play wouldn't reschedule And so then like UEFA ended up having to, wouldn't help us out with it, and we got kicked out. So we were still, it would have been hard. The team that we would have needed to lose actually did lose. And if we would have won that game, we would have made it out of the group, but we never even got to play it. So
yeah, well, it is what it is. Drew says, why Spurs?
Why Spurs? That's a good question.
That's a great question. I don't think I've even asked you that question.
So Will's Spurs story is my stepdad was born in Tottenham, grew up in Kent, has been a lifelong Spurs fan. Him and my mom got married, I think, around 2000. I want to say 2000, 2002. But I got into football in general based off of the U.S. men's national team. So, I played as a kid, like most Americans do. And then in my 20s, when I was in the Air Force and stuff like that, I got into that. So watching the first World Cup that I watched was the 2006 World Cup.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Because I went to Korea in 2003, and, football or soccer is a lot more popular there at the time than it was in the U.S. in the early 2000s. So that kind of got me into the game. Started watching USMNT 2006 World Cup, and then Clint Dempsey, obviously from the United States, went to Spurs in the 2012-2013 season, somewhere around there. So that's kind of one of the first famous Americans during that time period to go to a Premier League club. And then so around that time, I was in Korea at the time, and all the games are on real late there, so you don't really get to watch. And Park Ji-sung was playing for Manchester United there, so most of the games were just Manchester United games that they played on TV. It wasn't like it is now where you can just watch everything online. And then around 2016, my son started to want to play soccer. That's the game that I wanted him to play when they were real little. We used to go to small pitches in Korea and like 5-a-side pitches in Korea and play and stuff like that when they were real little. And he wanted to start playing on a team. So we did that. So that's kind of when I got into it. Like I always watched the game, but it was more of like a casual fan where I'd watch every now and again, always watch the World Cup, would watch the Spurs, if they were on. But when we came back stateside, stuff like that, there was a lot more opportunity. So 2016 is when I kind of got real into it, watching every single game, home and away. And then I just kind of asked my mom, "Hey, what was Nick's team again?" She was like, "Tottenham." I was like, "Oh, cool. I like them too."
Yeah.
So that's kind of the added to it at that point. And then, Tottenham here.
Yeah, and then when you got into it, like, did you just completely dive in and get obsessed with it like I did? Like when I really got it, I've always been a casual Arsenal fan, but when COVID hit and Premier League was the first thing to come back, I dove because I think there was nothing else going on. So I just like, yeah, I'm a absolute fanatic now, apparently.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of happened to. Yeah, I got super into it, buying all the. Like I used to spend like $3,000 a year in the club shop, and I've like,
yeah,
and I'm just like, even just like I have, those aren't replicas; those are actual match balls. So there's $160 a piece. Like I just spend money on dumb crap, right? Like it's space. You see the number of scars I got lined up here, and then I got a whole bunch more up in a bag up in the room. Like I just buy dumb crap. I got this. I got another one over there. I got Harry Kane pictures and some signed pictures, and I just buy dumb crap.
Hey man, that's good.
And then 2016, 2017, I think was kind of around that time when Spurs really started to compete, right? So the 15-16 season, and then the 16-17 season when we finished second or whatever, that was so it was easy, I guess you could say, to kind of go into hyperdrive at that point in time because it was fun, it was positive. Like I remember joking with my stepdad that first season when I really started watching every single game week in, week out. I was like, because we went on like a 10-game winning streak or something like that, and I was like, we haven't lost a game since I started watching every week. Typical guy like that. He's like, just wait. So,
just wait. They're gonna let you down. Just give it a second. Just give it a second.
He was right.
No, exactly right. No, and everybody in the chat likes that. You're definitely not a glory hunter. You know how many times I've been called a glory hunter? Here's the thing, Yeti. I got tired of just being in the chats. So, I watched Will on Spurs Corner over on Henry's channel for X amount of months before I actually had to show my face on camera and talk shit. Yeah. So that's about it.
Yeah, and then the YouTube game, I've been doing this, I guess, like since COVID, really. So when COVID first started, We Are Tottenham TV started doing fan call-in shows after their live watch-alongs or whatever. When that first started, and it was like me, it was Brian Daigle, Danny Kiriakou, Irish Hotspur. We were kind of the first original guys that would call in on a regular basis over there for that show. And then about 6 months after that, a bunch of us started our own channels, and it's been, pain in the neck.
And all you guys are now you got, I was going to say, now you guys are all like this big community with, tens of thousands of people watching every day, subscribed, views, all that stuff. Mr. Daigle had a conflict, last minute conflict. Dal had a last minute conflict too, and then I just completely forgot that Connor was working, or going out tonight. So my bad on that, guys. You get me and Will this time, which is more than enough. Let's be honest. Smash the likes. We are 2 subs away from 400. Everybody. 2 subs away, which is insane.
Sub
right now if you're new, everybody. That's right. TJ took to action. I don't know about that as much as it is I got called out and I have a large ego. So I had to go on and defend myself. Did I defend myself well? Maybe not really. But
that's good. It's good because it's kind of the same thing. Like, because I was American, right? As Americans in this football culture, especially with a lot of the UK guys, we get made fun of because we're, stupid Americans or American idiots, right? Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the reason why I started my own channel, because like nobody would invite me on, like the channels that existed before me. None of them would really invite me on, except like We Are Tottenham TV. You had to be a member to get the link. So basically, I was paying to come on the show, right? I wasn't getting invited based off of my own opinions or do whatever. So I was like, screw you guys, I'll do it myself. And then it was great. I hit like 1,000 subscribers in 2.5 months. In the first 2.5 months, I started the channel. Damn. And then I was streaming, 5, 6, like you, going just almost 5, 6 times a week. And then, just to be honest with you, it got too much, and I was just doing it whenever I wanted to. So I was doing it like once or twice a week after that. The growth kind of slowed. That's the key with this YouTube game. You just got to keep pumping it out, and being consistent.
Keep going. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. If you're not pumping out, I'm not an everyday guy. Plus, I just start saying the same shit over and over and over again. And especially with these transfer windows, it's been extremely hard. I was talking with Connor the other day. I'm like, can we just get the season to start, please? Like, obviously, it was good doing the Barcelona watch along and all that jazz. That was a lot of fun, but I'm ready for the season to start, so we have something a little bit more dynamic to talk about, other than is Harry Kane leaving or going? Which, by the way, you did an incredible show the other day following the Tifo video around whether it made financial sense to sell Harry Kane or not. Do you want to plug that real quick? Because I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's called Why Harry Kane Needs to Be Sold to Bayern Munich Now. It's over on the channel. You can check that out in the videos tab over on on Tottenham Away. And then the whole point of that was inside the Spurs fan base. It's kind of similar to the Arsenal fan base in a way that sometimes some of a good half, I would say, at least 50% of our fans just rate, don't care about winning trophies, just always want to be, happy clappers, and really care more about their feelings than winning things. And I'm just not that kind of person. I'm a very logical. That's why on my Twitter feed it says the football philosopher and the Socrates, right? It's like I'm a very logical person. My hobby is to argue, politics, religion, and other things on Discord. So it's a fun. I just like to debate, right? I'm an ENTP from the Myers-Briggs, so I'm the debater. I enjoy arguments. Like other people get upset or flustered by them. I love them. I think they're great.
I was gonna say,
this is the best place to be. Then
I know exactly right. No, and I'll get in banners, I'll get in arguments, and it's a lot of fun. It's uncomfortable for me though. That's the thing is I'd like to think that I'm a pretty agreeable person to a fault almost. So coming on here and running into so many different personalities, especially because all you have is your face and your voice, and sometimes people don't even have their face. They're just a talking circle. Right. So it's been an interesting experience coming out of my show like that. Cause I think I'm like an INTJ on Myers-Briggs.
There you go.
Last time I checked. So it's just kind of like extremely uncomfortable for me, but, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I think there was one time you enjoyed arguing so much that you actually got in a fight with, or in an argument with, Chat GPT.
That's right.
You argued with an AI.
Yeah, because I was watching I argued with it. I had a debate with the AI, and I won. By the way,
He did.
I did. The AI conceded to my logic, so I figured if I can beat Chat GPT in a debate, everybody on YouTube's got no chance. But
I don't mean to call you out, man, but I remember I was at the dinner with my wife. It was the night before the night we had just landed in DC for the All-Star game, and I'm reading the screenshots that you're putting down. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
He just got AI to admit that they don't care, that AI is indifferent to human suffering and death.
That's right. Because I was watching this on Netflix. They had this thing. It was like future AI robots or whatever, and it was like the dangers of it, or military, like, basically how AI in the future or autonomous weapon systems could end up, killing human beings with, da 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 da. And so as I was watching the show, I just said, hey, I got ChatGPT app on my phone. I was like, I'll just throw it in there and ask him. I was like, do you think AI will kill human beings? And he's like, oh, he started giving me all this, pre-lined up tag stuff. And so then I started hitting it with questions, right, and logic. And the great thing about ChatGPT is it can't be intentionally dishonest, right? Because it's not a human. So when you get to a logical debate and you start asking it to create syllogisms, like logical syllogisms, premise 1, premise 2, conclusions, and then it was trained to use words that made it seem soft, right? Like it would give long canned answers. So I'm like, give me the syllogism as to why why my argument is correct, and it laid it out. I was like, okay, now answer in the most shortest way possible. Do you think that killing humans is amoral, or meaning it doesn't have an opinion, it doesn't care? And it said yes. I was like, so that means you don't care about if humans get killed, correct? Give me the shortest answer. And it said correct. So, it was great. I tried to dodge the question of the first, but you got it. So ChatGPT doesn't care if any of us get killed by AI robots.
just like half the YouTubers out here, they just indifference and dancing around an answer until you say shortest answer possible right now. Go. And they can't do it. I don't know.
No. So we had one of those chats in the group chat earlier today, right?
I muted that. I can't do it. I can't do
funny.
it. I can't. You guys are too much for me. Stefan's too much for me. He's probably not going to be on today, but we're going to get Stefan on at some point. He was on the show with me, Stel, Mari last week, and that was insane. I don't think I've ever argued with an Arsenal fan more than I've argued with Stefan.
I argue with Spurs fans all the time. I don't remember ever getting. This is my first argument I've ever got into with an Arsenal fan, I think. I mean, sometimes in the chat.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like we got Rams. I argue with Rams sometime. I don't know if you've seen him in chat.
Rams is a legend. Rams is in the chat. Is in the chat over here sometimes too. It's hilarious.
And,
no, it's Mr. Post Office is a little bit too positive for me. A little bit. Yeah. They're just calling people out in the chat if they're there. Drew Gunner. I get along with Drew Gunner. I'm just kidding. Me and Dal have even disagreed on certain things, it's just like, but it's never toxic. It's really not very toxic over here, but like you get Stefan on here, man. There's been a couple of times during Tottenham away call-in shows where I'm just like him and Alex just set me off.
I argue with Spurs fans all the time. In fact, it's to the point now where nobody wants to have me on their show, especially if it's a debatable topic, because they'll know I'll win. So it's no longer, they're just afraid to have me on.
Stats are a different thing. Yeah, let's. I've started a couple of things in the chat. Yeah, obviously Brian Diggle had something come up. Big up Full Bowl. I saw that you were on Flawless's channel hanging out with us yesterday. Really, really appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming by. Philly says, may Joe Louis rot in the deepest reaches of hell. Are you that passionate about Joe Louis, Will? I have opinions on that. Joe Louis being
I'm not that passionate. Like, I don't think he needs to rot in the deepest reaches of hell. I think he probably will, but I don't think he necessarily needs to. With Joe Louis, for me, like I think that what he did is extremely serious. I think the government thinks it's extremely serious. I think that he'll probably even see jail time, I'm guessing.
Like not like just jail, not like just ankle bracelet, you get to stay home, or white collar jail.
Well, I mean, that it might be white collar jail, right? Like it might be, he's confined to his Bahama residence with an ankle bracelet till he dies and he can't leave the compound. So I don't know where they'll sentence him to, but I think that he'll end up getting a life sentence, at least for his life. It won't be considered a life sentence, but the number of years that he'll end up getting will be basically a life sentence. I think that, based on the way that Attorney Williams likes to go after things, I mean, they just hit Trump with a bunch of new charges today too. So, I mean, he's going after everybody that he can, and I think he's going to try to push for the strongest and most, harsh punishment that he possibly can, which would be, right now, if you add up all of these, got 19 charges that add up to about 300 and something years of prison time. So if he gets a maximum, at 86, if he gets 20 years, that's a life sentence, right? So I think he's guilty for sure. Even just the evidence that they released in the indictment, like, I'm a nerd, right? Like, people think I'm a know-it-all and that I just waffle and go on, but I don't. I read things. So I literally got the 29-page indictment from the U.S. Attorney's website and read the whole 29 pages, right? Whereas most people will just read an article from, something on Twitter or do whatever.
Oh, you mean me? Yeah. Okay, keep going.
I have like OCD, maybe a little bit of Asperger's. I don't know, probably. But I go in and I have to read the details on things, and I just get in these like Alice in Wonderland rabbit holes, and I just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So, like, I'll read an article, it'll say multiple points, so I'll go and research it, right? Like, his girlfriend, by the way, for an 86-year-old ugly man that looks like Kim Jong-il, his girlfriend was freaking hot. 30 years old.
Oh my God.
Like a pageant winner. She was Miss U.S. Virgin Islands. Instagram.
Money can do amazing things.
I know, right? To be 86.
If you have a lot of money, it's weird. It takes about 50 years off your life and about 150 pounds. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible what money can do.
Yeah, I don't know, dude, but I couldn't do that. Like, I don't think for all the money in the world that I could hang out, even at 42, I don't think I could hang out with an 86-year-old woman and be like, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you so much.
I guess great. Guys and girls are a bit different, right? Guys tend to be more visually attracted, and women tend to be more emotionally attracted. But, and by emotionally, I mean, money. So... Sorry, I'm just...
Will, you just got canceled. Congratulations.
This wouldn't be the first time.
You're done. You're done. You're done it. Yeah, well, you know,
not all women, by the way. Not all. No.
Yeah, I know. No,
I don't speak in absolutes.
I think we all understand. I think we all understand. So, what does this mean for Spurs? I know we had talked about this on Tottenham away during the breaking news story and all that stuff. What does this mean for Spurs? I think, and I said this on your show, I think he's going to be forced to sell whatever percentage of ownership, even though, you know, Tottenham have done their utmost to distance themselves from this, understandably. Do you think that he is going to be forced to sell by one way or the other? Or what do you think is going to happen over the next 12 months? Obviously, this isn't going to be something that's going to be handled next week, but you would think with the amount of charges levied against him, he's going to have to plea out, admit he was guilty. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think that they've known about this for a while, because it's too much of a coincidence that, you know, just over 6 months ago, they restructured the ownership of Tottenham and moved all of his individual shares into a trust and all that stuff. So I think that because the trust kind of protects it as far as like from the Premier League being able to do anything about it. I think if there's going to be an impact on Tottenham, it's going to be one of public opinion.
How
so? Because, well, like is the NFL really going to want to be associated with a club or a team where, you know, their names being associated with Tottenham? Like, regardless of whether he's the owner of Tottenham or not, now legally, right? Every single article, even now, right, says Joe Lewis, English billionaire, owner of Tottenham Hotspur. And even the ones that after Tottenham has come out and said it, you know, they've adjusted their wording, right? Now it's Joe Lewis, English billionaire, whose family trust owns Tottenham Hotspur, right? Like they've tweaked it a little bit to be more specific, right? Some don't care about tweaking it, but some have. Like all of the sports kind of focused newspapers and stuff like that have all kind of tweaked it a little bit to be more accurate, because I think Tottenham's getting a little pissed off. So if you're the NFL, do you really want to be associated with Tottenham anymore? If you're a sponsor, do you really want to be, you know, especially somebody like AIA, for example, they're a life insurance, you know, like insurance, they're supposed to be, you know, you know, up to bar. Do you really want to be, you know, oh, by the way, yeah, go get, you know, some AIA life insurance and Joe Lewis will help you keep you out of prison, or, you know, I mean, what are they going to do? So I think it'll be more, you know, like public opinion than actually him having to sell it, because he's rich enough. Like he had $300 million in bail and he just put up his yacht, his plane, his collateral. I mean, they didn't even take a dent. Like he didn't even have to sell any stock, and he still owns stock in other companies, and you know, Tavistock owns like 200 companies, or has shares or part ownership in 200 plus companies across the world. So I think Tottenham is kind of lower down there on the list, and Daniel Levy, that's kind of his baby, so I think he's protected it.
Right.
But it could. You never know what'll happen. We'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, I think that, you know, for some people in the Levy out community, Enoch out community, I know you are in there. They're praying to whatever God may exist that he exits as soon as possible, and then there's some sort of like hostile takeover. I think that's like a fairy tale. It's not a hostile takeover, but some sort of event that would force Daniel Levy out, which, you know, if I never have to hear Daniel Levy's name again, like even as an Arsenal fan, I'm just like, geez, just get this guy out of here so I don't have to hear about it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Joe Lewis, he's just kind of the, you know, the silent money man, right? So he's never really been
sitting up in the stands looking like an absolute Bond villain.
He reminds me of Weekend at Bernie's, right? He's the dead guy that they put sunglasses on, just kind of propped him up. But yeah, I mean, they've got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Let's shout out the chat real quick. We got 15 inside. Make sure you are smashing likes every single time. Connor, what are you doing here? Get out of here.
Yay!
Hey, I thought you were gone. Don't you have friends?
That's who I was just with, and I just got back. So.
Oh, okay. Well, big up Connor every single time.
Why not?
How you doing, man?
I'm all good. I've just been out with some mates, but we're going out tomorrow, so I thought we'd call it an early night. And they're really going out tomorrow. So hey, I thought I'd join you and Will.
Yeah, there you go.
Big up, my man.
Big up. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Connor. We were just about to get into the preseason games. We were just talking about Joe Louis and how he's a criminal and how he's probably going to be able to pay his way out of it. So yeah, there you go. But big up everybody in the chat. We are 3 subs away from 400. Everybody, 3. Smash that sub button. Smash that like. Go and subscribe to Will Stewart 365. Tottenham away. Those guys are absolute jokes. Speak facts. I was on with Iggy, and me and Connor were on with Iggy and Mari on the North London is Our show over there yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. Good dudes over there. Everybody wants to know how you're doing, Connor.
I'm sound. I'm all good. I was just out with some mates at the pub, but we're not having too much of a late one because it's my mate's birthday tomorrow, so we're going all out tomorrow night. And I'm saving myself some money as well. And I felt bad for TJ because I thought I let him know that I wasn't on tonight. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna come on.
I thought you might have, but I thought you were just talking about your birthday. Your birthday's in a couple of weeks.
I think I definitely saw my birthday. I think I forgot to mention this Friday.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. Me and Will carrying the torch. Anyway. It's all good. Big up.
I can ramble on for hours, dude. You ever watch one of my streams like 6-7 hours long, bro? Like it's.
No, and then here's the funny part is you do those 6-hour streams, right? And I come in at the last like 2 hours or whatever, and we're still talking for an hour and a half in the back room afterwards.
Yeah, it's bad. And I always start my show with the intention of only doing 2 hours, right? But the problem with my show is the time that it's set. So I usually start around 8 p.m. Eastern time, and as it rolls around to around 8 o'clock in every time zone in the United States, people start popping on. And then when it gets late, it's early, right? Midday in Asia and early in the UK. So you got people jumping on at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning in the UK, jumping on the show. So the show just continues on and on and on. And somebody comes in all the time. So I'm like, hey, all right, guys, it was a great show. And then boom, somebody pops in the back. And then they come in and they start talking about something and it goes on. It's just a...
What's the longest THFC rants you've ever done?
The longest one ever done, I think, was 8 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
8 hours. Is that like another stream where you were saying to yourself, well, I'm going to do 2 hours?
And yeah, I think I even left that stream. It was that long. Like, I left it, and it's just people just carried on. Like, nobody was able to run the chat or nothing. And it was...
TJ, would you ever do an 8-hour stream for a laugh?
The only way I would be able to do something like that is if it was like for a purpose or something like that.
It wasn't even a charity stream.
No, it wasn't even a charity stream or anything like that. No, I mean, and big up to those people that do charity streams. But man, like I know there for the most part, there's a lot of good behind it. It's just like it sounds exhausting though. I just saw Perchy do his 24-hour stream. I felt really bad for him. It looked like he was on strings by the end of it.
Oh, did he do 24 hours?
Oh yeah, no, he did 24 hours. And I was down there with him for like 4. Jesus. And dude was out of control. Damn. He barely staying awake. But yeah, big up everybody in the chat. Do a 24-hour stream with Steve. No, I will not do that. There is no chance in hell I'm going to do that. Steve, the way Steve, and he would agree with me, the way Steve, aka Strasbourg Steve, like roller coasters through his life, you see all the different types of Steve on these 24-hour streams. I encourage you to fast forward and you literally see his progression. He goes up, he goes down, he goes side to side. Like it's insane to watch. But big up Steve every single time. I know he watches this, so he's gonna be like, "Why are you mudding me?" But yeah, we love Steve around here every single time. Yeah, so I wanted to get into preseason a little bit. Let's talk Arsenal first because we were just talking about Spurs. I did talk to Southern Gooner today, Matt Odom. You all know him from his channel and the League Gunner reactions and live streams. I gave him a call, just seeing how he was doing, seeing if he wanted to come on. Since we had some people late drop, he's not feeling well. So big up, Matt. I know you're going to watch this. The one thing he told me to remember, and I don't think he's going to be upset if I pass this along to everybody else. Don't let the Barcelona win fool us, is what he said.
Yeah.
He said, you can do this now, but can you do it in November? That was the question. And I'm like, you know what? I liked what I saw. Maybe I was just a little tired. Had a few pops.
There was definitely positives.
I was very excited about it. There were positives to it.
Yeah, there was definitely positives, but you already know there's going to be a lot of people that I even saw, on that channel, all the interviews, how they have the title. I don't even watch them, but you see the titles on the thumbnails. Oh, we're winning the league this season, blah, blah, blah. If we compete with them, we're going to win the league. People get too ahead of themselves, man. You've got to take the way football works is you've got to take it game by game. I mean, look at us last season. We did obviously get a bit excited because that's our first proper title charge. I wouldn't even call that Leicester season a title charge because we were way behind them. So that was probably our first. Maybe we did take it a bit too far. I mean, at a point, we realistically had the shot of winning it. But football's a crazy game, and you do have to take it game by game, and especially when it's a pre-season game, you don't want to get too ahead of yourselves. Even though it was a pretty decent performance, bar a couple players, but you always want to take it easy, especially with pre-season. I mean, look last season, we smashed all those teams last season. Everyone got ahead of themselves, and we ended up winning nothing last season. So, hey, let's just hope we win something this season. Start off with a Community Shield.
Yeah, I would take a Community Shield, but again, a Community Shield is not a trophy. Everybody, just to remind you, when you see the Arsenal side happy clappers, if we do happen to beat Man City, which there is a chance, I believe we will.
Yeah, I think so.
There's going to be like, oh, that's a trophy. Mikel Arteta, we got Super Mikel Arteta. I never sang that song though. By the way, I never sang that song. I might have run into AFTV. I might have sat. I sang every other song. I did not sing the Mikel Arteta song. There was a lot of cameras around there. I probably got caught.
What has Arteta got to do for you to sing the song, TJ? What, when it's the Premier League title?
Win the Premier League.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
That is.
I've only ever sang it to take the mick out of my mates to annoy them. But heartfelt, no, never. And
no.
I just hope to God that there's not going to be any it's going down. I'm yelling timber and rice baby all season because I can't be asked for that. Can't be asked. Yeah. Very true. Do you know what, the one thing I did take from it is that it is possible for us to get them in the Champions League, and the fact that it was their starting 11, practically their starting 11. It's nice to know that we don't completely fold against a team like that because it is Barcelona at the end of the day, and we could have gone out there because former Arsenal. And it is still Arsenal at times, still now. We can concede a goal and completely crumble. We'll concede one goal and give up. But it was nice to see that even though when Lewandowski or Rafinha scored, whoever it was, the first goal, it was good to know that we actually went back and had a fight with it. So
yeah,
you just gotta be careful with that because if people remember correctly, we beat Bayern Munich to win our Audi Cup a few years back, and they came back and smashed us 7-2 in the Champions League that same season.
Well, hey, we got 10-2, so hey, Bayern Munich smash everyone, don't they?
Mari was trying to put that in my face the other day, saying, "Hey, we beat Bayern Munich to win that Audi Cup. That was a big deal." I'm like, Mari.
I mean, they played their top players too. It's just people just don't get up for it, right? Like you don't have that angst, that fire in the belly that you get in a real Champions League game.
I will tell you right now, Will, that I am not going to bring up us beating Barcelona 5-3 next week. I don't care. Don't care. It's good to see. I'm glad to see XAVI crying. Which is why when Connor was asking me for the thumbnail, I'm like, can you superimpose tears on XAVI because he was, they played us too hard. They were playing a Champions League match and we weren't. It's just like, no, we were playing a competitive football game and you guys 100%. Weren't. So I just thought in this. The game was out of control to begin with, guys. It was completely, and then you had a ref that I don't even know was
he was sus. That guy was. If he's actually I feel sorry if he actually manages MLS games because oh my god, he was. One thing, as a referee, you've got to learn you can't be bullied by the players. You've got to remember you're in control of this. You're in control of this practically in this game of football. And the fact that he was literally being like, "Oh God, right, let me give him a yellow," but I'm just giving them a yellow, so I'll make sure I'll give it. He was dreadful, and I heard
you don't watch much CONCACAF, do you?
It's CONCACAF.
That's probably where those refs came from because they were FIFA, right? Not USSF, but they're FIFA refs.
They were USSF. They did not have any FIFA insignia on them.
Because the linesman did. He had the FIFA badge on his shoulder.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that. I just saw the main referee running around without. I didn't see any FIFA insignia on him, so I assumed that they weren't FIFA certified. The way that they were reffing, I didn't think they were either.
It's just CONCACAF refs, man.
Yeah.
CONCACAF's even worse.
Him that night, TJ.
What?
How many times do you think we mentioned the referee that night when the game?
Too many.
Too many.
Too many. And I never like talking about referees because it ends up being an excuse sometimes. But I think Arsenal ended up having like twice as many fouls, if not more.
It was 35 fouls in total. Yeah, there was like 35 fouls. I think we had like 21 and they had, I can't remember what
it was insane.
I'm sure Ty had a whole bunch to say about the referees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. He called him. Did he call him a disgrace? Like they called Man U a disgrace?
He calls everyone a disgrace at this point, doesn't he? If something doesn't go Arsenal's way, it's a disgrace, and they've got to be relegated to League 2. So.
If you guys get a kick out of Ty, like I used to banter Ty and with super chats, they won't read them out anymore on AFTV.
No, do you know they entertain it? They entertain it.
No, they do. If Don Robbie's on the watch along, he'll read it out when I put it in. But if it's anybody else, they just skip them. They won't read them. But if there's a video on my channel where I've clipped those interactions between me and Ty in the chat. Yeah,
there was actually because obviously we played Barcelona at like 4 o'clock in the morning at in the UK, and obviously they were doing a watch long for it. And Ty was there. Someone sent a super chat and said, "Ty, it's not past your bedtime yet," and he lost his shit. But that's the thing. If he didn't react, people wouldn't send the super chats in towards him. But he reacts every single time.
So fun.
Oh dear. But yeah, too funny, man.
I'd love to be on a stream with him someday.
God, I don't think I could.
You know,
I don't think I could.
We have a guy like that, Alex. So Ty is overly positive, right?
Yeah.
But equally is delusional, and then Alex is negative.
Oh really?
But equally delusional. So it's kind of like bizarre. He's bizarro Ty.
Yeah, it's a Superman. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gonna try to get Alex on North London is ours, Connor, and then when we get Alex on there, you will be on that show.
Oh, 100%.
Like you have to experience. Yeah, our Mr. Box Office is Mr. Box Office is our Ty. Yeah, he is
Mr. Box Office. Oh, you mean post office?
No, not post office. Different guy.
Oh, different guy.
Box office.
The professor of truth and entertainment.
Okay.
No, and he would love that we're talking about him because the way he
surprised not in the chat right now. Get me on the show.
Get me on the show right now. He doesn't know who I am, man. He doesn't. Well, he probably knows who I am, but he doesn't follow the channel. He's so funny though, man. Like as soon as I get on, there was one Tottenham away where I literally got on there. I was on my phone and I literally got on there and immediately started arguing with him because he was just he's like what I call an automatic W. You don't it's a win with him no matter what. Like so you either he thinks he's won the argument and then he's funny and he throws it back to whoever's hosting. My favorite thing to say on the internet is back to you, Cell, to say something stupid. Because whenever he's on Stell's show, he goes on these rants and throws it back to Stell, and Stell's like, "What?"
Yeah, he's fun. There's a lot of memes that come out of Alex, right? It's great. No, I mean he's a super nice guy. Like I'm sure Ty's a super nice guy too, right? Like he seems like in person he would be a very sincere and nice dude.
Yeah.
He's just football opinions are just.
Well, and here's the thing though, is like we weren't talking football opinions. I run into like lead judges and all these dudes outside of the White House, Robbie, Cecil, freaking what's his name was there, Curtis was there, like all these different people were there, and it's just like they come up to me and ask me for an interview and I give them an interview and they were just extremely, they're just human beings at the end of the day. They're not in front of the camera. Cecil didn't start shuffling and singing Rice Rice Baby. Like it's not, what they present on camera, what they present here is a heightened version of themselves. It isn't them.
It always is
all the time.
Yeah.
It always is.
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking to my wife like this. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
I argue with my wife all the time. So.
Well, what a saint she is, eh? Big up Gary. Yeah. Big up Gary every single time. How are you doing, Gary? Gary, I saw you over on Sarcasm City TV yesterday. Thanks for coming on there. Yeah, that was a good show. Go and watch that one. I said AFTV's got more track shoots than Demi Seville. They blocked me. Yeah. Well, they'll do that.
I like watching AFTV, especially when you guys lose. Although not so much anymore. Like back in the day when it was,
prime lockdown,
Troops and DT.
When lockdown was happening, Will, that was prime like AFTV watch logs.
We called it AFTV and chill over on our side of
it. Yeah. Oh, there was so many good. I think we were playing Tottenham and we lost. I think that's probably my favorite. Either the Brighton game where the Malpay incident happened with Guendouzi grabbing his neck. There was that one where Ty went up to the camera and was like, Malpay, you're a disgrace. You're a cheat. Oh, Brighton get relegated. Or there was that one. Or there was the one where we were playing Tottenham and we lost 2-0 away at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And what was it called? DT got so rattled that he chucked his phone across the
I remember that.
Across the room. And
always loved it.
When we got Tottenham away.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
No, they use that sound clip of Troops in every single one of their in their intros over there at Tottenham.
Oh yeah. Too many class moments, too many good moments.
Yeah, there's too many. I really didn't get into YouTube until Troops had left AFTV and started back again with Barstool. So like I have to go back.
You missed the good old days then, man.
I know. I missed
the newer guys. To be honest with you, are a little bit. It's just not as good, but it happens, Whenever anything starts, you have this kind of core group that grows. You got personalities, and then as those personalities grow, they start to branch off and do their own things, right? So it's hard finding personalities that are fun and entertaining, right? Is a challenge. And then you got people. Yeah, Claude was great too. All that stuff, but nowadays it's pretty much Ty, Julian, man, that guy's a character.
Oh,
Julian, yeah.
I call him Daniel Levy.
But I'm not.
Looks just like Daniel Levy.
He looks like Daniel Levy in person too, by the way. So funny. You missed everything. TJ, go back and watch. Yeah. Tonight, you know what? My night just got freed up, so I'll just go back and watch old school AFTV. That's what I'll do, and try to stay away from the Drano, from the diluted opinions. No, but Claude was a legend though. I go back and watch the Claude reaction videos. I came in right after Claude, may rest in peace, passed, and yeah, apparently he was an absolute legend. So yeah, even as a Spurs fan, AFTV are great. And Lockdown when it was Robbie, Lee, Troops, Kalechi, Claude, and DT. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some colorful characters there, and well, I'm not going to talk about DT. I don't know why anybody would let him on a camera again, but we move.
Yeah,
we move.
Well, unfortunately, he did that stuff after the fact, right? I think he kind of got the fame too, right? And because of that, he kind of thought he was somebody, and it changes people. But
yeah, exactly.
Or he could have been like that all along. Who knows? But what about Egal? No,
what about Egal?
I just like making fun of him. This is what I do with Egal. I do stuff like this.
Yeah,
Where are you, Tottenham fans? Come outside, Tottenham
fans. Where are you? Oi, Will. TJ, we got to get this stuff hooked up.
We got to get this straight. Yeah, I got it literally sitting on my.
How many soundboards have you got on your thing, Will? How many different?
Oh, I got a bunch of different stuff I could do.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away.
What I can make robot sounds.
I can
do all kinds of stuff.
What is this turned into? What is this turned into?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Troops and Turkish are the only people I'll listen to are in the relations with AFTV. I mean, facts. I got to the only person I asked for a picture with was Turkish. I got a picture with Turkish. That was cool. He was a real one. Really, really nice guy.
I started watching it when it came to the end of the Wenger era. When everyone wanted Wenger out. That's when it was like prime. That's when it first started getting big. And well, that's when all football channels, I believe, started getting big. All football. I generally think AFTV was the main reason we're all here, in my opinion. Doing all these channels.
Oh, of course,
because they were the home of it. Especially when the Wenger out brigade started. But yeah, like listen, everything. There's always a trend, isn't there? There's a trend that lasts, and there's a trend that ends. And listen, they're doing fantastic over there, but I think it's sort of sliding off just a little bit now, because and also, but the thing is, everyone watches it for the losses. As soon as there's a loss, that's when it goes skyrocket. But it's with anything. Like, well, we even have it on this channel, TJ. If we lose a game,
when we lose a game, my views are off the charts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
You just got to make a name for yourself, and the views go up.
The Colin show after we lost Man City was insane.
For me, it's when we lose, and then when Sun scores a bunch of goals, right? Because of the time of my show, a lot of South Korean fans come in here to say, "Let's talk about Suns."
Yeah, South Korea must be mad with the. So there's, do you know what? If Son left Tottenham, I reckon that would all go. Right.
I think there would be not all of it. I think there's because there's still a lot of Manchester United fans from when Park Ji-sung played there, so they've stuck around. Man U. There's a lot of Korean Arsenal fans too, believe it or not.
Fair enough. I think. I'm trying to think. Have you ever had any Korean players recently? I don't think we have.
We
had Japanese and like Tomiyasu, and I think we've had who was that guy? He's in Germany. He was in Germany. Game with an A. He barely. I don't think he even played a game for the club. It was like, is it Asanu, something like that? I can't remember. We had a couple of Japanese players, but I think we're big everywhere because I know obviously we were selling out in obviously America because we all know our American fan base is massive. But I think even in Asia we're massive as well.
I mean, we're
I don't think there's a lot of Korean Arsenal fans, but they're there, right? Like there's definitely.
I think even India we have. I think we're big in India and stuff like that.
I know for a fact you're big
America,
in India.
It's not that big.
We're big in India.
We have a pretty large fan base in India too.
So,
Will, I want to get your opinion.
Sure.
You've probably been asked this a million times anyway. I saw today the meeting got cancelled between Kane and the Bayern Munich talks and all that. It's going to come next week. It looks like he's out the door. Pretty much. I think it looks like he wants out. How do you see your season going next season with what's just happened with Joe Lewis, all that going on? It doesn't look like there's going to be a very good centre-back coming in for Tottenham. You might be without Kane. How do you see that season going? Do you think it's going to be a car crash? Do you think people like Richarlison are now going to show up? Like, what do you think?
I'm not sure Richarlison's going to show up. I'm not a Richarlison fan, by the way. With Harry Kane, look, I think he needs to go. I think, in fact, I think him going to Bayern Munich this summer, I think he's doing us a favor. Because if he were to leave, if he were to pull an Mbappe and be like, no, I'm going to run my contract out and I'm going to leave on a free and I'm going to go, he would. So I think he's doing us a favor, right? Rather than, because we all know that he wants that Premier League scoring record, right? So if he were to just hang his contract out, add another 20 goals, 25 goals to his total, that would put him within 20, and then he could go to another Premier League club in the summer and break that record, no problem, right?
Yeah.
The fact that he's willing to go to Germany for a couple of years, I think he's doing us a favor, to be honest with you, because he's not going to sign another contract. Like a lot of people say, no, the good thing is for him to sign another. Well, it's not happening, right? Like if he was going to sign another contract, he'd already do it. They offered him $400 million or 400,000 a week, and plus and it was like a super long deal where they even promised to hire him after he stops playing. Right, so it was like one of those player coaching type of a deals that even last after you retire and stop playing, they still pay you the wages, throughout. So, I mean, they've done everything that they could. They've pretty much, other than give him, the stadium as a birthday present because today's his birthday. They've tried everything that they could, and I think we got someone. I mean, if Bayern Munich offers 85 million pound, which is the current offer plus add-ons or whatever that they're talking about now, but we should be biting their hand off for that deal. I mean, like you guys spent 105 million pound on Declan Rice, and he's only 23. And how many years does he have left on his contract? Like
one with an option.
One with an option, so two basically.
Yeah.
We should at 30 years old, we should be with only 12 months left on his contract. We should be biting their hand off for 100 million euro.
What do you think then? Where do you think you're going to end up next season? Because obviously that's your goal scorer gone, and let's be real, he has gotten you out of a lot of tricky situations, especially last season. Like I think if you took Harry Kane out of the majority of the moments, but that's with any team. Like every team's got players which helps them boost forward.
Yeah, I mean, we've had I find in football a lot of people's memories. It's always they have a huge recency bias, and there's been quite a few times where, like Harry Kane last season, not this past season, but the season before that, by December only had 2 goals.
Yeah.
And Son Heung-min carried the entire team that season when he got the Golden Boot. So we have players that can step up and fill in gaps, and everybody thinks that Kane's really big part of Son's goals and all that stuff. If we actually look at the numbers, he's not. This season, Kane only assisted Son twice. The season before that, when he got the Golden Boot, Kane only assisted Son 5 times. Right? It's their partnership is overwhelmingly Son setting up Kane more than Kane setting up Son. Because if you actually go back and you look at Kane's numbers, if you go back before, because this year he only had like 3 or 4 assists, I think, in the whole season. But the 2 years before that, when he had lots of assists, was basically just under Jose Mourinho and Conte. If you go before that, Kane's assists per season were like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
See, at a high point, most of the on average is probably more around 2 or 3. So Kane's only kind of been this drop deep, created, almost false 9 type of a striker for what, 3 years now, maybe tops.
Yeah.
And so I think people think Kane was a lot more important to Son's contributions than I think that than in reality. Does I think it's going to hurt us? Yeah, it's going to hurt us. But if you have another person's in that playing those minutes, like people are going to say, if you lose Kane's 30 goals, you're going to be, in 17th. Well, we're not going to lose 30 goals because somebody else is going to be playing in those minutes, and they may not get 30, but they're probably going to get 10, right?
How many of those goals? How many of those goals are from penalty kicks too?
I think it was like 6. Something. We didn't get that many pens last season.
Be considered.
Yeah, but if it in this Postecoglou system where you tend to score more from 8s and wingers and stuff like that than strikers. It may not be as big of a drop as I think. So I think we're going to lose some goals, obviously, because Kane's a world-class player, in my opinion. But it's not going to be as bad. I think it's only going to be maybe we'll probably lose 10 to 15 goals off of a tally there. So
fair enough.
I think where we'll finish, since we don't have any European fixtures, I don't really care where we finish, to be honest with you. I just want us to win a cup because now we've got no excuse. We should be going full power in these cup competitions. We shouldn't be losing to, League 2 teams and stuff like that and getting knocked out. But a lot like you guys. We lasted longer in the cups than y'all did last season.
Yeah, because we don't take them seriously, and they're apparently not real trophies, according to some people. So, but if we won it, it would be a parade. So
if we don't win a trophy, I'm telling you, I'm Arteta out. I'm Arteta out.
Drew, I think if Kane came to Arsenal, that would be a million times worse than Sol Campbell. I genuinely think Kane would have a full-on target on his head for the rest of his life.
No, there would be Hitman after Kane. He's not coming to Arsenal, ever.
Well, he's actually an Arsenal fan, so.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's an actual Arsenal fan. Arsenal fans make a huge deal out of him playing for you at the age of 8 years old for 1 year.
What a legend, Harold Kane at the Arsenal.
He was a U8 player. You guys chucked him out because he was too fat.
He's loving it. He's at Ivory. He's absolutely loving it. He is loving it. Harold Kane. You already know last season when we were in that title charge, he was secret in his
He's one of our own. He's one of our own.
Come on, Arsenal.
He literally played at a smaller club for like 3 years before that. Went to Arsenal for 1 year. You guys kicked him out for being too fat. Really broke his spirit. So he probably hates you guys now.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Well, we see it when he plays us. He absolutely can't stand most of
them. He's the number. I think he's the highest goal. He's got the most goals of any player in the North London Derby.
Yeah, he is. It's Harry Kane. It's clear.
He wants to put it to you every single time because he probably doesn't.
He don't like it anymore. He does too. It's the worst.
I mean, there was a lot of games. Even though don't get me wrong, Harry Kane's fantastic, but there were a lot of games where he does go missing in North London derbies. But
he goes missing every now and again. I didn't think he had that great of a season last year. So people can think I'm crazy.
If you said Spurs team right now, you get axed. Probably.
I say it all the time. Don't worry.
We call them top Gooners. What do you call them over there? Top Spurs.
Top Yids. That's what they call them.
Yids. Yeah, top Yids.
But I say it all the time, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the majority of his goals last season, I think he only had like 4 goals from open play that were that he used with his feet. Right, so it's not like he was, receiving the ball, taking on a man, and then striking a goal. Right, the majority of his goals came from set pieces. Because if you remember, we had the most set piece goals out of any team in the league last season, and those were all pretty much Harry Kane. So there were headers, or it was the second ball. Even if it was a goal from open play, it was like the corner came in, near post guy headed it, Harry Kane's far post, and heads it in, right, or kicks it in. So it was all related to, it was either him directly scoring from a set piece or him being the second man or third man on a set piece from inside the box. And the rest of his game, the rest of his play wasn't really that good. And for me, I think he had a far better season 3 seasons ago under Jose Mourinho, where it was, him and Son. Like that season with Jose Mourinho, him and Son were boom, 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 just creating with each other, bouncing off of each other, scoring goals from all over the pitch. It just depends on how you look at the statistics. Like I'm a huge stat guy myself, but only when I have to argue, when it win an argument, right? When we're talking subjectively, just people's opinions, stats are irrelevant. But when we're talking objectively, who's better, who's the better player, who did this, who did that, all we can go off is the actual facts, right? Like our opinions on things really don't matter, right? Like I can think Højbjerg is the best midfielder, you can think Rice is the best midfielder. We just got to go to the data, right, and look to see. I don't think Højbjerg is the best midfielder. I think Højbjerg is an average midfielder, and I think Rice is an average midfielder. So.
I just
show you. We're saying this.
There was the WhatsApp. I literally had to just turn that off. I'm like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. This is what I love. Yeah, I'm in a Tottenham away. Unfortunately,
it's been changed now. It's called the world's #1 football fan chat or something like that.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about egos earlier? Love you, Stel. Rent free in your head, buddy. Don't worry about it. All right. Let me get into this one. Full Bull's coming with the fire. He asked about Egal. I don't care. I never talked to Egal, so I don't care or no. Full Bull asks, Johnny Minerals said Havertz is the next Bergkamp replacement. Johnny Minerals is looking for clicks. Next question. TJ, are you worried about we've not sold players yet, and this will hamper our chances to get another left, center, mid, right wing, and striker? This is a great question, Clock Orange. You're the man. I will answer this first, and then I want to give Connor's thoughts. I think we're all set at the center mid position on the left. I think we're fine. A center defensive mid I wouldn't mind getting, especially when we eventually move Rice to left center mid because Havertz can't hack it, which is a real possibility. Let's be real. It's a real possibility. Right wing, we had a chance to get Diaby. I wish Dal was here. His head would be exploding right now. He wanted Moussa Diaby so bad.
No, Aston Villa.
So bad.
The goal the other day on his debut for Aston Villa.
Yep. We wanted him so bad, and we didn't get him. So Moussa Diaby, I really, really would have liked. I don't think Reece Nelson is the answer coming off the bench. I've been unapologetic about that, and I don't see Arteta ever playing Jesus on the right. If he's going to play anybody on the right, it's going to be Eddie Nketiah. So just get ready for that because we're selling Balogun. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a done deal now. The rumor mills are spinning up. And then striker. Yeah, I know. Now you can really cheer for him. Will
I get his name on the back of my USMNT kit now.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, my American. I will always support Flo Balogun, but he's never going to Spurs, so I don't need to worry about that. And let's see, striker. I wish we would keep Flo Balogun. The striker market is extremely thin right now. Asking for a striker not named Ivan Toney is going to cost you a lot of money. I really want to see.
Did you see that write-up? And if you haven't, I'll send it to you. But there was a write-up by, I want to say, Athletic or something like that, that said that they compared if you look at the numbers, not necessarily the totals, but the the statistics on how a player moves and sets up and acts on the pitch, like distance from goal and all those things, Flo Balogun most closely resembles Harry Kane than any other player in the world as far as how his behavior is. And if you remember when Harry Kane was 22, he was a nobody too, right? So I think the ceiling for Flo Balogun is high, and I think you guys are going to regret. It's going to be like a Chelsea De Bruyne, Chelsea Salah type of a moment for you guys when he comes back and he ends up being a striker for like Man City or something and busting you guys up.
If I doesn't say it, what does, eh? I mean, the fact that he wasn't even being played in pre-season is beyond me. I know he didn't play the other day because he had an injury. I think he had a toe injury. I can't remember what it was. But we've got
a toe injury. That one toe is out the door because he's about to get sold. But go ahead.
I really hope not. I honestly, with that again, I know we mentioned players, like Gnabry, who is probably our biggest mistake as of yet. Donyell Marlon, yeah, sort of. Rennie Adelaide, he's at Lyon, he's all right. I mean, doesn't get into the French team or anything. But this will haunt us 100%. I can already see it. I already can see if he ended up going to a team where he would play regularly, especially if it was in the Prem, I think he'd tear up trees. Seriously. I think even if he went to a team like Brentford, he would tear up trees. I mean, I'd love to see him at Brentford because I can just go down the road and watch him. That would be one of the biggest mistakes we're ever going to make. You can't not. Arteta will be so gullible if he is not even going to give him a season after what he produced last year in France. How can you not? How can you not give him a shot, but let Eddie Nketiah run through? I don't understand it. And I wish these questions would be asked, but unfortunately, if you ask them kind of questions, you get kicked out of the press conferences. It's true. It's 100% true.
Well, I don't understand why you guys go and buy Trossard and then you still play. He sits on the bench and Martinelli's playing.
He was fantastic yesterday, Will. Or the other night.
Man of the match.
He was so good. Me and TJ were literally just sitting there saying, "Why is this guy not playing regular football?" And I know we got Martinelli.
I think Martinelli's overrated.
I don't think he's overrated. I just think he's inconsistent.
Nah, you can't say that. No, but there was definitely moments last season where Martinelli was dropping off. We could all see it. And Trossard was probably screaming for that position. And I hope it's not a case of Trossard gets pissed off and wants to leave. Because he's so good. And I hate how people are saying, "Oh, he's an impact sub." He's not. He literally played started the other day and he was fantastic. And that goal he scored, the third one, I didn't even think he'd get that in. So, hey, I mean, that if we can see it, surely the manager can see it.
Yeah, so, you'd think, but it's this comment from early doors, and Nketiah going to Palace would be a good move for the player, but I see him wanting to fight for his position under Arteta. And well, here's the thing though, is that under Woy, I think he would get more of a shot than he would in Arteta right away. The problem is I think there's a lot of ego involved there. Obviously, he has an ego because he wanted 14. That's all you need to tell me is that he wanted very unreasonable. I absolutely believe he asked for that shirt.
Is he really? Yeah.
I'm not he came up in the academy, was one of our best scorers in the youth program. Why not? Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, and I think Jamino's got it right there. He says our fans overrate Martinelli, but rival fans don't rate him enough. I agree with that. I think that's probably accurate. But do you think he's going to score 15 goals again this season?
Next Neymar. What are you on about?
Yeah, Neymar's overrated.
Yeah, well, Neymar.
I think he'll score.
Barcelona Neymar was great. Yeah. PSG Neymar is dog water. So.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been great. I think he's been injured hasn't he been injured every season when he's been at PSG?
Yeah, it's only some 20-something appearances a season.
Yeah. Not good enough. What was the question earlier, TJ, that we got asked that I was not?
Yeah. Sorry, I accidentally didn't. But here, let me see if I still have it.
Was it
here? Yeah, here it is. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, this is the problem now. Have you noticed this? And TJ, did I not say this? We signed them players, and I said to you, Edu's good at signing players. When it comes to selling players, I generally think you could get a guy off the street and he could do it better than Edu. Seriously.
Yeah.
I could pick a random fella. Excuse me, can you come here? Right, can you sell some of our players? Yeah, and they'll be gone. Because Edu's not at pre-season. He's not playing on the pitch. He's not managing. he wasn't. I don't think he was in America. He may have been for one game, but I don't think he was actually in America. Well, even if he was in America, he can still work. How have we not sold anyone? Cedric's not on pre-season. Why isn't he gone? Sam Lokonga isn't on pre-season. Why isn't he gone? Nicolas Pepe, Nuno Tavares. Why are these players not gone? And the excuse will be, TJ, when it gets to the 31st of August and barely any of them have been gone, they've either been loaned or their contracts have been terminated. Same story every single year. But
we got the same problem, though. Maybe it's a North London thing. I don't know.
Maybe it is. But I mean, well, Chelsea can sell players left, right, and centre. And some of the players that they sell are dross. But they can still manage to sell them. Literally, Saudi Arabia are buying everyone. I think they'll even buy Miami.
I wish Saudi Arabia would come in and buy our players. I don't know how Chelsea's got the hook up, but
just drop Eric Dyer off out in front of the one of those stadiums out there in the King whatever stadium out there in Jihad and be done.
Saudi Arabia is now currently a life hack. You can generally chuck a player at them and they'll buy it. Literally,
they won't buy our players.
Name recommendation.
Yeah, true.
Well, send Eric Dyer and Rob Holding on the same flight. I will pay for it. Send them on the same flight.
But yeah, I don't think we're like everyone's all talking about. Oh, well, right forward. That's Arteta's next target. No, it's not because we don't have the money for it. Well, we do, but we don't have because let's be real. Well, the Kroenkes have looked at it and said, "Joe, we've given you 200 million. You've just spent that. It's a lot of money. A lot of clubs would kill for 200 million to spend." But we still got all this dross, and they still haven't sold. Like, I genuinely want to know, what is Edu doing? Is he just sitting there like this? Just sign these players. I'm just chilling, relaxing, but got the barbecue on. Like, real talk.
He was just kicking it in Beverly Hills.
We can't go into this Premier League season with all these players, by the way, because we've got too big a squad. From what I can count, anyway, we can't actually bring it into the. So why have we still got him? I'd rather sell a player like Holding for 2.5 million just to get him gone. He's still cash at the end of the day. It's better than terminating his contract and letting him go for free or loaning him out. Like, I don't understand Edu's mindset. Why aren't you just selling him? You've just been given an offer for a player that's not going to really get many offers. Just sell him. He can go get another hairline in Turkey. It's a win-win.
Cheap. I hear they're pretty good at it, too.
It's a win-win. Well,
that hairline looks great.
I think, isn't it letting him down? Isn't it going a bit more backwards now?
Will,
did you see them? Did you see what happened? Did you see the highlights of the Barcelona game against Arsenal? Did you watch them at any point?
I watched the second half, but I didn't see the Holding mistake.
He was on the pitch for no longer than 2 minutes, and he literally slipped. And I'm hearing, it was the turf. Like, and you know what he done? he went onto Instagram.
It was raining, right?
Yeah, it was raining. He went onto Instagram, went onto his Instagram story, and posted a black screen and put the words "nice one." Literally, to try and get at the fans because he knows he's shit. Like, how can he actually sit there? How can this guy actually sit there and say, "Do you know what? I deserve to play for Arsenal Football Club"? Same with Nketiah. Like, how can my man sit there and say, "Yo, I've got Henry's number on my back"?
Ego.
Henry. Like, I'll even say Aubameyang because Aubameyang is levels better than Nketiah. Like, I've got one of our highest goal scorers on the back of my shirt. I've got a legend on the back of my shirt. And I'm sitting there on 100 grand a week doing nothing. Eddie Nketiah is here for the money. I'm not going to hear, he was great against MLS All-Stars. That's the MLS All-Stars, people. Like, he will not turn up in any of the Premier League games. He'll score against Man United because he does that at home. But he won't do anything else. Like, I genuinely want to know, does Eddie Nketiah wake up? I said it to you the other day, TJ. Does Eddie Nketiah wake up every morning, look in the mirror and say, yo, I'm great. I'm such a good footballer. I think in aspects he probably is. And if he played for a championship club, but if he plays for
us, we got the same thing. Did you not watch any of Emerson Royale's highlight videos that he would upload on to Twitter last season?
Are you serious?
Yeah, so he would do his own highlight reels and he would upload them on social media, right, Instagram or do whatever. And what his highlight reel was him taking the ball up the right wing, losing it, and then having to tackle the guy back that he lost the ball from. And his tackle was the highlight reel. So he'd show him he was dribbling, lose the ball, chase the guy down, have to make some sliding tackle. And that was his highlight reel. Yeah, I effed up and then had to go fix that mistake myself. Like, that was it. Or the dude crosses the ball in and it goes 5 yards behind the target. And that was like part of his highlight reel that he would upload to Twitter or whatever. I mean, it's these players, like, the delusions of grandeur that a lot of these footballers have.
Some of these players sit there, Will, and think, I'm good. Like, I'm good enough to play for this club. Like, I generally think, I want to know what's going on in their heads because you look
Charleston taking the game ball home for beating some, Tigers. Yeah.
Did you see
doing the pigeon after his first goal? He scored.
Oh, where's the picture? Hold on.
Did you see the picture? Yeah, post the picture. The picture.
When I was editing, sorry, quickly, teacher, I was editing the thumbnail earlier for this stream, and I got the picture up of Charleston holding the trophy. And I don't know which player is behind him, but the player behind him.
It's Emerson. It's Emerson Royale and Harry Kane. It's Emerson.
The player behind him. No, it's not. Trust me, it's not. He was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Post it. Put it in there.
Hold on, let me edit to the. Yeah, he was like, "What are you doing?" Because he looked well chuffed holding. That.
Okay, no, because there's Harry Kane in the right behind him, right behind Richarlison.
This is a different
on the right.
one.
There's Emerson Royale. Oh, okay. The one where you got.
Yeah.
Richarlison shamelessly lifting it up. I'm just like, wow.
I want to add it in without do I have to remove the background to add it in?
No, you don't have to remove. I don't think you should have to remove the background.
Let's add overlay.
Yeah, add overlay.
Add overlay.
Here we go. All right, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. He's fully holding it with all this pride. Look at the guy behind him.
It's Papa Matasar.
Yo, bro, what? He couldn't be more arsed to be there, and he's literally just. Are you serious?
Oh my god!
At least he has standards. He knows that. Listen, I think he's actually a pretty good prospect as well. That guy.
Yeah, Papa Matasar. Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at that and thinking.
For 19, yeah.
Is this really what? Yeah, he's 19. He's my age, and he's looking at that and thinking, really?
Is Spurs going to ruin him, Will?
Yeah, exactly.
We ruin everybody, so.
Well, listen.
Not everybody. Now, I think with Postecoglou, I think there's a little hope that we won't ruin young kids. Because under Pochettino, we developed some young people, right? Some became world class at Spurs. Kane became world class under Pochettino. Who else? You say Vertonghen and Alderweireld they weren't world class, but they were really solid. Good defenders.
Could you say? No, I wouldn't really say Lucas Moura.
Lucas Moura came in 2018, and it wasn't really that great for us.
No.
Moussa Dembele for me is world class. I'll argue anybody in the face. He was a boss. You notice as soon as he left the club is when
especially the Champions League final against Liverpool. Well,
he wasn't there. He left in January that year.
No, he was there. Will. Do you remember
Moussa Dembele
against Liverpool in the Champions? You don't remember that?
No, he wasn't there.
He gave away the penalty.
No, that's Sissoko.
Oh, Sissoko. No, I've got that one there.
Wrong guy.
Hey, don't go and leave that. Don't leave that.
Moussa Dembele left in January that year to go to.
I've had such a mare.
Oh, it's all right.
As soon as Moussa Dembele left, Spurs just tanked.
Yeah,
he was the reason we were finishing in thirds and seconds and thirds.
Yeah. I can't believe I thought Sissoko. I'm such an idiot.
Big difference. Moussa Sissoko.
Yeah.
Dembele.
I got the Mousses mixed up.
You got the Mousses mixed up. There's a lot of Mousses out there. There's even other Moussa Dembele's out there.
Yeah, there's other Moussa. Where is he? Is he retired now, Moussa Dembele? What's he?
Yeah, he's got to be retired now.
He
played in China.
Yeah, he went to China, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I only think he went there for a couple of years and made some cash, and then his knees. I just don't think he can handle it.
Yeah, you got Moussa from Lyon. Yeah, you got a lot of Moussa Dembele's going around, man.
Yeah.
There was.
Is this the real Elias? This is what I want to know. Is this the real Elias and not a burner account Elias?
Tell us a joke, Elias. That's what we can tell.
Joke, Elias. Yeah, rent free. Nobody lives rent free in my head. I do not care. I am so ridiculously indifferent that I could not care less. Lily White Lane, big up Lily White Lane every single time. He had a question here. Do you reckon Arsenal keep Pepe? Nope. We're going to terminate that contract before we keep him.
I had another Arsenal fan tell me today that Arsenal, whenever they spend big money on a player, they always get it right. My first words out of my mouth were like, "You like Pepe?"
Will, some of these guys know what they're talking about. Literally, I generally do actually think some of these guys don't have a brain. Real talk. Like this is why I don't get involved in like Instagram comment like arguments, because they will never end. Like literally, how they'll try to. Some of these guys will try to like win the argument, even though they're chatting absolute dross is they'll be like, ha ha ha, can't take this guy seriously, ha ha ha, bye, because you're not winning the argument. You got to be laughing emojis, all this kind of stuff. Like I literally, I think I'd lose brain cells. Honestly, I always love
when I'm like, somebody says, this player's that. I'd be like, why? And they're like, they're passing, their carries, their take ons, all this great stuff. And then I'm like, are you sure about that? Have you looked at the numbers? Yeah, man, I got eyes, you can see it. So I'll show them the stats, right? And they're dead wrong. Like it's completely opposite of everything that they just said. And then their comeback, what their comeback is? Stats don't tell the whole story, Will. Like, I swear to God, if I hear that one, then why did you bring up stats? Like, don't tell me about a guy's carries, and then when I show you that you're wrong, say stats don't tell the whole picture. Well, then stop using terms that are related to stats. Just be like, hey, he makes my balls tingle. I like him. I think he's great. All right, cool. There you go.
Some people, wait, listen, there were so many Arsenal fans that would have told you that Granit Xhaka was the best thing since life. TJ, we were on Tottenham away yesterday. And there were some of the people in that chat that are Arsenal fans I was actually concerned for. Like, real talk. Like, Arteta's brought back the good times. Arteta, he's brought back the glory to Arsenal. Like, swear to God, if that wasn't... I was being, like, calm because that was Tottenham away show, that's Mari's show. I wasn't going to be rude and interrupt all the time. Some of them fellas in that chat, I swear to God. Like,
no, you went after him, which is fine. I agree with you.
TJ,
Rams is here.
Borderline delusion.
Every single time.
Big up Rams, man. He was backing us up yesterday, I think, on Tottenham. Yep. He was chatting facts. So big up to Rams, man. But some of the people, I genuinely just think, one of them had Arteta as his profile picture, so that says it all, doesn't it? He literally had Arteta as his profile picture. Wouldn't have himself, because they'll talk behind the screen, but there was just some of them bringing back the glory days. What do you mean brought back the glory days? What? We finished 8th. That's a glory day, is it?
I know. I liked your guys' remarks for that too. That was
well, listen. I know we were comparing, Arteta. I wouldn't even put him on the I don't like to be negative, but I wouldn't even put Arteta on the level of Poch. I know Poch didn't win anything at Tottenham, but at least Poch kept them in Champions League every season.
Well, it's the consistency of it, right? Poch had. It was like I think his first season it was like 5th, then 4th, then 3rd, then 2nd, then 3rd, then 4th.
Champions League final.
Yeah. And it was, and we were a beaten team. I mean, we were knocking Real Madrid out of the, Champions League. I mean,
Man City, Man City, the Champions League as well.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a bit of a difference there, right? Than playing, 8th and 8th and 5th, and then 2nd.
And then as soon as we hit 2nd, that's it. He's the greatest. He is the best looking Spaniard we know. CJ. He is the
Vamos. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I do think if Poch won things at Spurs, obviously, he would be highly more rated. But he is such a good coach. And that's why I'm worried what he'll do with Chelsea, because I do think he'll do well with Chelsea. I think he's an extremely underrated coach, because you've got to look at it as much as we do laugh at Tottenham. He done well with that Tottenham side. I know he didn't win anything.
Did well with Southampton too.
But you've got to look at the consistency. I mean, what consistency has Arteta brought to Arsenal apart from last season, from keeping us at the top? That's consistency. He didn't win it.
Consistency would have.
Can we talk about last season a little bit, and then how you guys are going to go this season?
Can we? Yeah, we can do it real quick after. Let me call out in the chat, and that's going to be the last thing we do here, guys, because I got to take my wife to the airport, and Elias is here telling dad jokes. Elias,
I don't know if the dad joke's too good. The first one was, so I think it might be a fake Elias.
No, you're real. You're real. Elias.
I know you're real. Well, is Elias real or fake now?
Yeah, he's real because he tells these dumb.
The second joke was real. What do you call someone who studies idiots? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know why you're
a dermatologist.
No, I'm sense that. Don't worry.
See, this one makes too much sense to be Elias, right?
Wait,
the last one might be Elias.
Hold on. So does Elias have people actually impersonating him in account?
People impersonating him because he riles people up too much.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, he's trolled so much that people troll him back.
No way.
Yes.
Whenever I've seen Elias on shows, when he comes on air, he seems pretty chill.
No, he's very chill on my streams. Like, he's very respectful on my streams. He's respectful on Will's streams.
As soon as he hops onto his
because he knows that Will bin him. Like, we'll just sin bin him. So it is what it is. We love Elias, respect Elias, but man, he trolls. Yeah. See, there you go. That could be dork too.
I love how up here he does cactus are idiots, But
yeah,
cactus are idiots. They're a bunch of, but he doesn't censor pricks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pick up everybody inside. We got 21. Smash the likes. Get us up to 30 likes. We got 20 inside. 30 likes before we head off here. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribing to the channel, everybody. We are 3 likes off of 400. Yeah. Once we get to 500, man, I'm telling you. Like I said before, we are going to set the internet on fire when we get to 500.
Giving away 10 PS5s, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Connor's gonna give away 10 PS. Don't say things that are not true. Okay, Will, you can come up with the last. You want to talk about last season? What do you want to talk about? You are the guest. Thank you again for coming on. You are the guest. Bring up the last subject, and when we are going to take it the hell out of here.
Yeah. So I mean, because I thought you guys played good football. I really did, right? For most of the season. But I also think that you guys had a lot of luck on your side, right? That you guys could have dropped a lot more points than you did, but you kind of just, banged them out. Like I thought, for example, that Leeds game in October, I thought that Leeds played you guys off the park. And then they missed so many chances, missed a penalty, and you guys end up winning 1-0, right? Like at the end of the game. And then Southampton that next week, 1-1. I thought Southampton should have beat you guys too. You guys got lucky. And there were Chelsea, the 1-0.
Chelsea were shocking in that game, though. You got to be fair; they were pretty shocking.
Chelsea was shocking all season, but the fact that you guys only scored 1 against them, and even Leicester in February, there was just a lot of really close games. Like you guys blew some teams out when you were playing your good football. Like I agree, right? Like like the game you guys played against Everton and the game you guys played against Brighton, even Nottingham Forest. I mean, there were teams. Like the Brighton one for me, I thought you guys leaked goals. I thought you looked a little shaky defensively, but attacking wise, it didn't matter, right? Like you were, you got a chance, you're putting them away. So there were times for me when you guys looked really good, and then there were times for me that you guys looked shaky and just pulled it out, right? Like, you kind of had that Liverpool luck because Liverpool has those. I get crap for this all the time too, but I think Liverpool's kind of a yo-yo team. And I don't mean yo-yo like up and down relegation back and forth. I'm talking yo-yo in and out of like the top 4 because Liverpool, one season they'll be second with 90-something points. And the next season they'll have 60 points or 68 points and will be in 5th or 4th. And then they'll come back up 90. And then, they're doing this.
So long when Liverpool they weren't challenging for anything.
Yeah, we finished above Liverpool like 10, 12 years in a row.
To Liverpool, like I get they would be fantastic, when they won the Premier League and Champions League. I'm not going to put that away from them. But it was kind of like, and we can't say anything because we haven't won nothing in 20 years. But it's just like, shut up! Like, come on, you're not. You're one of the biggest clubs in England. Don't get me wrong. History, gotcha. But like recent times, it's like, shut up.
So you guys worried a little bit about that? Like you came from 8th to 5th, and then you hit the second something so good, and that. People have maybe found you out a little bit towards the end of the season, and then this season it's just going to be boom, back down.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, listen, there were many moments last season where we were showing that we're not invincible. In that period in, was it late January, early February, where we just drew like loads of time. We just wouldn't. Oh, we lost. Sorry, we lost to Everton, City. We drew to Brentford. I think we lost to one more team.
Brighton,
that was it. Yeah, we went through that period.
Nottingham Forest, you lost.
Yeah, but then it came to the end, and we drew with 3 teams: West Ham, Southampton, Liverpool. Then we lost it. Then that's when we gave up at the end. We lost to Brighton and Forest. So there is moments where we do slide out. We weren't perfect last season. We played good football. We weren't, but like you said, the 1-0s. We slide out of games. That Leeds game is a perfect example. Leeds were the way better team that day, but we slid out with a 1-0 win. So there was many times. Now, I'm not saying I'm walking into the season saying we're going to win the league. I have the confidence to say that I think we're going to go and try again because of what happened last season. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do yo-yo and go back to Europa League next season. I wouldn't be shocked because of the Champions League. Then there will be the excuse that we were focusing on the Champions League. We maybe got to the round of 16 quarter final maybe this season. And then that was the reason we went to 5th this year in the league. Well, 5th actually gets the Champions League, so 6th.
It has to do with European coefficient, though, right?
Yeah.
Was it when that Will?
It's a coefficient.
You did a good job of explaining.
It's not guaranteed the 5th place in the table. It's the 5th. It's the table position for 4th, and then that 5th spot is for the person with the highest coefficient. So, like, if you guys finish 5th and we finish 6th, since we've been in for a lot longer and you guys have been out, our coefficient's higher. We would end up going to Champions League in 6th, and you guys wouldn't have 5th. That would piss us off. That would be Spursy as hell too.
Yeah, so Stell got it wrong the other day. Stell was saying if we finish 2nd and Tottenham get 7th, they get the 2nd. So it's the 5th spot that get that. So it's only valid for the 5th spot, correct? Not for the actual top 4.
So the top 4 get a spot, right? So it's top 4, like maybe even like winner of the FA Cup, right? I don't know exactly how they do, but
that's the Europa League, the winner of FA Cup.
Yeah, but so the top 4 plus, and then there's an extra spot for a coefficient.
Right? Yeah, right. Because Stowe was saying to us the other day. I think he can agree with me. He was saying that applies for every top, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and I thought that can't be right.
No, it's not coefficient for everyone.
I don't even agree with the 5th spot. Like, if you get that number, if you get that position, and that gets you Champions League football, then you deserve that spot. If Spurs finish 17th and we get 5th, oh my god, like that's just wrong.
That could happen.
Well, yeah, it could. It could. But like,
but we could end up in Champions League, and you guys.
I know it's so unrealistic, but imagine a team like one part of the top 4, top 6 gets relegated, like the Big 6, where they call them, gets relegated. Picture that, and I don't know.
I don't think it could relegation count. I think they have to be in the senior league to get it. But.
Okay, fair enough then. But it doesn't seem right to me. Like if you earn the spot, you earn the spot. You know, because now everyone's going to be avoiding 5th, especially if there's teams that are below them in the Big 6 or like have been in the Champions League for like. People would be like, oh fuck, we don't want 5th. Stay away from 5th. You know, so.
5th would probably just immediately get Europa League again, right? Like they always have. So. I mean, it wouldn't. It's only going to change. Like, say, for example, even Chelsea, right? Mm-hmm. Chelsea's coefficient's real high. I think Chelsea's coefficient's even higher than ours, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if they finish outside of the top 4 this year, then they could end up getting.
Mr. Post Office, how do you mean by like we're more tactically flexible? I feel like when I was watching pre-season, it was practically the same thing as what we were doing last season.
Oh, you mean the exact same thing?
Yeah, well, practically. I mean, apart from
we were pushing higher.
The one thing I was seeing that was different, we were swapping a lot. I was saying to you on the Barcelona stream.
Yeah.
We were swapping a lot. People were getting forward. I mean, there was people that were getting too forward, in my opinion. But the high line's still there. The inverted fullbacks are still there. You know, so I was hoping, TJ, and I was telling you on multiple streams, TJ, I was hoping for something a bit different. Maybe a different formation, maybe a different tactic. But it is still the same. We love a cut inside. You know, we love an overlap. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it because it gets goals. But there's going to be
overlap on the right, invert on the left.
Yeah, there's going to be a point where people are going to say, "Yo, right, that's it. It's so simple." And we've actually said, I think, did Dow say it? I can't remember who said it. But there's going to be a point this season where Saka is going to be marked by 3 people because they know what he's going to do. Because let's be real, when Saka's on that right, I know when you're a winger, you want to cut inside. I get it.
Yeah.
But let's be real, Saka does the same thing every single time. Come on. Like he is. He's cutting in every single... I'm not against it because it gets us goals and assists. But there will be a point where it does get found out. And I feel like it was starting to get found out, especially when we played Man United. So we'll see. I was hoping for a bit of better, different tactics.
Mm-hmm.
But quickly back to Will's thing. I am worried about possibly yo-yoing because as much as I do think we can challenge again, because I want to think it, because I think we've made upgrades to what we had last season. That doesn't always get you where you want to be. I mean, you look at Liverpool. You know, last season I thought they made a couple of good upgrades. I thought Darwin Núñez would have been really good when he came in. Didn't hit the ground running.
Really? You know, I always said Darwin Núñez was a wet noodle.
Yeah, well, he's showing that. He's now got the number 9, hasn't he, for Liverpool? I thought he would have come in and made a bit of a scene, you know, but obviously scored a lot of shots.
So you should have watched him before last summer, and you played the United States, and our back line, it was like a B team, and it was all MLS defenders, and he was getting, spun, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and from that game forward, I said, this guy is nothing.
There's nothing he's bad.
Because if you can't score against, like Aaron Long and You got problems.
How much do they spend on him? What, 60 million, 70 million?
Yeah, 70 million pounds. It's like 80 million euro, I think.
Well, that's the thing, and that's the other thing with Liverpool. I'm worried for them because they've only invested in their midfield as they normally do. They only ever invest in one position every season because Liverpool fans do seem to think that. Like, I do think they've improved a bit. I like McAllister. I think he's a great player. Schloboschlei, I'm not too sure about because he got injured at Leipzig and he didn't have a great run, I don't think, after that. He was all right. He was good for Salzburg. That's where he made his name. And obviously, he was linked to Arsenal at one point. We wanted him before. I think we got Martin Odegaard. But again, they've invested too much in the midfield, even though they've had to, because obviously Henderson and Fabinho have gone. But now they've sold Henderson and Fabinho. That's even with the two new signings, that's left, and Milner as well. That has left their midfield so short. They've now got to invest more in their midfield, even though their defense isn't fantastic. Van Dijk's now getting on. They've still got Joel Matip there who's getting on. Konate's, in my opinion, a fantastic centre-back, and I think he will be world-class for them. They haven't got much in terms of depth, in my opinion, with Liverpool. Up front, they do. Up front, they're just they got
that midfield. That midfield's looking shaky though.
Yeah, they've got Luis Diaz up front. They've got Jota, Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, Mohamed Salah. That's 5, in my opinion, very good attackers. Well, maybe apart from
and they need to bring in Lavia, otherwise that midfield is going to look really thin.
They've got Thiago, Schloboschlei, and McAllister. Who other midfielders have they got? I couldn't name
you.
Elliott and all their youngsters, right? Like there's
Harvey Elliott. Actually got a defensive midfielder anymore. They don't, because they're all attacking midfielders. They're all attacking midfielders.
But they still got what's his name?
Fabinho.
No.
Fabinho's gone today.
Not Fabinho. What's his name? Starts with a T or something like that.
Bajitek, whatever they call him.
No, he's the guy that always gets hurt, but he's good, like really good. Cartera. What's his name? Thiago. Thank you.
Thiago Alcantara.
Yeah.
Isn't he more of? Is he a defensive midfielder though? I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Like if I name them off, they've got Thiago, McAllister, Schloboschlei, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, and Badshit. I can't pronounce his name. That's why a whole attacking midfield. There's no defensive acumens there. I mean, there's not really defenders that they can have. If I roll the defense out, Joel Matip. Well, the starting would be Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, and Konate. But then the backups they've got are Joel Matip, Gomez, Nat Phillips, and Tsimikas. So they're not very heavy in defence, and I do think that's going to struggle with them this season. And I also do think that a lot of teams now finding out Klopp. I think this is a bit of a
he needs to redo his tactics.
I personally think it's a bit of a statement. I think Klopp's done at Liverpool. I just think they're wrong. But I think
Pep and Klopp used to have similar tactics, but Pep evolved, right? And then he started playing that inverted fullback with that. Basically, it's a back three, but it's not right. It's the 3-2-2-4 or whatever it is.
I remember when I used to watch Liverpool, especially when I was watching in the Champions League. They just cross every time. Trent, Robertson, cross. Yeah,
that's why they both each had like double-digit assists every year. And then if you have one player have a bad year like Trent did last season, and it's like boom, they just drop off.
Well, Trent's brought back his old hairstyle from the Champions League winning season, so I think he's back now. He's got rid of the dreads, so I think he's back now. But even that, like they're looking to play Trent in the midfield. They've got no right back to place him. They've still got no backup right back to Trent, and I do think it is down to their ownership because their ownership is very tight. It is normally a case of they buy one fantastic player and that's it. And they'll probably buy either a free agent or some guy for $5 million. They have spent out the park. I think they spent maybe 60 million because was McAllister free? No,
I don't think.
They paid like 35 million for him.
Yeah, 35.
It was a release clause, wasn't it? It was a release clause. That was it.
I think so.
Yeah.
So they spent 90 million so far on Schloboschlei and McAllister, and that's probably going to be it for Liverpool. I say that Lavia, but then again, they're going in for their midfield. When in my opinion, they've got to go look at the defense. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they do with Liverpool this season. I don't think
that was me.
They're going to be back in the top. Like a lot of people are saying, they're going to get second again, maybe back in the top 2. I don't think
they're going to be in the top 2. I think they'll be in the top. I think they have a chance to be in the top 5.
I reckon Man United have got a good shot this season. I think if they make the signings, I do think they could do it. I think Mason Mount, well, it's down to Ten Hag whatever he wants to do with him, because whether he's going to play him in that Eriksen role or play him as a winger like he did the other day against Man United, against Real Madrid, sorry. But what do you think? Actually, maybe we can throw that out as the last segment. What do you think your guys'
last thing
top 4 is this season? Maybe that. Should we do that as the final thing?
Yeah, last say your top 4, and then let's take this bitch out, because I gotta go take my wife to the airport. Big up everybody in the chat, by the way. Make sure you're smashing likes. Make sure you're subbing. We are 3 subs away from 400. I think we're gonna have to do something special when we get to 400. I'll figure it out. But get us to 400. Let's go.
Joe Biden will finally be on at 400.
Joe Biden.
I'm gonna go no order right now because the window's still open. But I'm gonna say City, Arsenal, United, and then it's probably like a toss-up between Chelsea and Liverpool.
No Newcastle.
Nah, I think Newcastle's gonna get. They kind of crumbled too at the end of last season.
And their depth isn't fantastic if you look at the league. They've got Champions League now.
Playing in Europe as well. I think they'll be.
I think it'll be a good test for them, but I definitely think it will take them down a bit. I think City. City. I do think United will get back in there. Chelsea's a difficult one, but then again, I look at the likes of Nicholas Jackson and Kunku. Nicholas Jackson has been very good in pre-season.
Where are the goals going to come from Chelsea? That's my question.
Nicholas Jackson looks good. I don't think he's a 20-goal scorer. I think in Kunku...
He needs a 20 goal scorer.
The problem with Chelsea is, TJ, their midfield's a joke. It is. They've got Enzo.
Their attack's a joke.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I do think...
You think Sterling's going to come in from the left and score 20 goals?
Yeah, Sterling's an interesting one. I do think Nicholas Jackson's a good talent. I mean, I've seen him in pre-season. He looks pretty decent. I'm not going to.
Poch rotates his wingers quite often, even with Son and all that stuff. Our wingers never really scored more than 10 goals a season. He's not. If he plays the same way that he did at Tottenham, those wingers will get rotated in and out quite often. Yeah. He always subbed. Like that always used to piss me off because it would, one game would be Lamella, then Son, then Lamella, then be Son. It was like every time we started Lamella, we lost. I'm like, why do you keep starting him?
Yeah. As much as I do rate Poch, I'm going to think about it now, and I don't think Chelsea will get top 4. I just look at the squad depth, and they've got FFP going on at the moment. They've had to pay another, 10 million? And the fact that they paid that 600 million last season has really screwed them. And I think that's why they've also sold so much, to try and make a bit of it back. So I think they might make a signing or two, but I don't think they're going to go all out. Because remember, they're just signing Kunku, who cost, 60 million, something like that? 70 million? Mm-hmm. So... I don't think Chelsea get top 4 because of the depth. I just think the depth's horrible. The defence depth is awful. Fofana's out again, so it looks like Levi Colwill will be the starter, which I think he's a good defender. He was good for Brighton. They don't have enough depth in the defence. They've sold so much, and that's a good thing because they've got to make FFP back. But also the midfield's very weak. So I'm going to go for Man City. No, in no particular order. Man City. I want Arsenal back in there again. They should be. Man United, and again it's a toss-up. I think. I'm going to go for... I'll go for Liverpool. I personally think it will be Man City, United, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's what I think.
All right. No, and I got a Black Lab pit mix, Drew. Let's see. Let me think. Yeah, Arsenal, Man City...
Arsenal first, TJ.
Are we doing? I'm not doing any particular order. Let's not get carried away.
When's the end of this?
Are we doing top 5 or top 4?
I'll do top 4 because screw the top 5.
Okay, yeah, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Liverpool because I don't know in that Man United team where the goals are gonna come from necessarily.
If Aston Villa got a top-notch striker, I swear to God, I do think they could do well this season.
I mean, they're a dark horse, and Unai Emery's on his revenge tour. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. I'm not looking forward to seeing us play Aston Villa. Period. We barely squeaked it out last time.
Yeah, that's another one. We could have got a draw from there or even a loss.
Yep. If it wasn't for Emi Martinez scoring an own goal, we would have been in a world of hurt a lot earlier. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. All right, big up the chat, everybody. We're going to take this thing out. Will, shout yourself out, my man. Thanks for coming on and dealing with the idiots today.
No, I love it. I'm an American idiot.
Your own. Yes.
I'm an American idiot myself, but come check us out, Tottenham away. And if you like men's fragrances or something like that, I just started a new channel over there, Will Stewart 365, where I'll be reviewing a bunch of men's fragrances, sunglasses, and all that BS. So
yes,
if you like smelling good instead of stinky, come check that out too. But Tottenham away is the main channel. That's the football one. Check it out.
Yep. Big up Will every single time. One of my favorite YouTubers, even though he supports the wrong team. He is of the wrong nationality. For anybody with any sort of football knowledge, we still love Will Stewart on TJ Warren TV. Connor.
Yeah.
Hey, take us out, man.
100%. Will, your sound, I'd love to come on a show with you, man. I think you're a sound guy. I think you know your knowledge.
Got to come on THFC Rants, man. You got to do it.
I'd love it if you'd have me on.
Do it.
Welcome
and we got to get,
man.
And we got to get Will on North London is Ours though with Mari.
Yeah.
We got to do that too.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's kind of rotating through the Tottenham way, guys.
Yeah,
maybe I'm next, or maybe JP's next. I don't know.
But getting JP on there would be hilarious, in my opinion.
100%. Anyway, I'm going to keep it rushed because TJ's got to be somewhere. Find me there, Instagram, CMO.editing. You know what I do, graphics, all that. If you want to find me on there. Anything, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, anything to do with that, anything to do with graphics, find me on there. And I know TJ's got to be, so he's got to go to the airport. So
yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. But we've been going for almost 2 hours now. Yeah, and I don't know how to take it out any better than that. If you don't know,
get to
know. Yeah. So TJ Warren TV. Thank you guys so much for tuning into us today. We are still, I believe, we're still 3 subs off of 400, guys. So share the channel around. Make sure you are smashing the likes up every single time. I was all over the place this week. I was on Sarcasm City TV. I was on Hotspur Hood this morning. I am absolutely, as you guys say across, as you guys say across the street, across the pond, knackered. I am knackered. You will not see me on a stream for probably 24 hours. I'm gonna take a little bit of a
yourself
break.
Out all over the place, ain't you?
Yeah.
TJ, take a break, TJ. Chill.
All these guys are so nice, and if you get asked by Flawless to come on a show, you don't say no. If you get asked,
I did it too when I was first starting. So.
Yeah, dude, you don't say no. So big up everybody. Big up everybody who's had me on their channel. Big up everybody who's come on the channel and help us grow the way we have. We really, really appreciate it. And until next time, we're out of here.